Of course, have a very large nuclear industry.
Where the influence of foreign military in the country?
for having me on.
Alright, welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode ng Deep Dive with Sir Ronald Llamas, our resident quantum mechanics expert. Pag-usapan natin shortly yung mga latest drones. It looks like Iran now is deploying green drones. Drones na using electric power. So medyo nag-green warfare mode na tayo. Just as we expected last week, this war is not going to go away anytime soon. Mukhang last night there was a call between Donald Trump and Putin, and President Trump was signaling that he wants to finish the war kasi clearly this is not going according to the playbook. And things are getting very desperate because it looks like, at least on the side of Israel, they're targeting civilian infrastructure in Iran, oil depots. Last night, though, according to some reports, even some residential areas were heavily affected. Electricity grids were attacked. And of course, in Iran, you have a much more hardline government that has withstood the attack by two nuclear powers, and now they're striking back very hard. Many people are affected, including more than 2 million Filipinos in the region. So siguro pag-usapan natin, Sir Ronald, before tayo pumunta sa quantum mechanics at analysis mo ng defense strategy, dahil daming natuwa na expert na rin pala si Sir Ronald, talagang physicist na rin, hindi lang geopolitical expert. Let's talk about also the impact on the Filipino community, Philippine foreign policy. What should the Philippines do? Kasi we have no less than Ambassador Romualdez saying the Philippines, I think President Marcos is in New York, right? That the Philippines will push for ceasefire for some sort of end to this conflict. Apektado tayo. And then, Sir, of course, pumunta tayo sa favorite topic mo, yung mga ideal candidates natin dapat for 2026. Naka-ready na ako, Sir Ronald. All right, Sir. First of all, are you surprised that here we are, week 2, and reports suggest from both the right-wing media and left-wing media, actually it's Iran which is saying we don't want ceasefire right now, as Trump signals he wants to end this. And per reports by Washington Post, David Ignatius, it looks like even the Israelis are not sure where they're going with this, because clearly the regime is not going away.
Well, una, hindi naman unexpected yung Iran war. 'Di ba? Nagpopormahan na sila last year pa eh. No, ang hinihintay lang natin kung i-deploy na yung mga aircraft carriers ng US, at nung dineploy na nila, it was just a matter of days bago nagsimula yung Iran war. Pero yung prospect na yan ay matagal na. No? Ikalawa, ang problema sa US, nagbabago yung kanilang objectives. Noong una, parang Venezuela framework, 2-3 days tapos na. Pero sino ba namang advisor ang magbibigay ng matinong advice na Iran is like Venezuela?
Si Lindsey Graham, baka si Lindsey Graham.
Tapos na. Ilang beses nang wipe out ang military leadership ng Iran. 'Di ba? Almost the entire leadership, mga twice, 3 times na wipe out siya ng Israel. Pero ang ginagawa lang naman ng Iran, pinapalitan. 'Di ba? Ngayon mismo yung supreme leader na yung pinatay at yung successor niya. Pero ang pumalit mas hardliner pa dun sa ikalawa na pinatay. Dahil itong anak ni Khamenei, ito practically yung kanyang COO. 'Di ba? Ito yung nagpapatakbo. At ito ay very hardline dahil yung kanyang mga magulang, yung kanyang asawa, yung kanyang anak ay lahat pinatayin ng Israel at saka ng US. 'Di ba? Tapos
Well, US denies they were involved in that because they knew exactly this would happen. In fact, the US is also denying that they were involved in attack on oil depots and electric infrastructure. And now, in fact, the US is calling for investigation dun sa killing of 160 school children in Minab. So the US line is quite different on this issue.
Yes, dahil yung objectives nila ang gulo eh. 'Di ba? Ano ba ngayon? Tatanungin ka, anong objective ng US? 'Di ba? Tapos na yung regime change na objective. Dahil hindi mangyayari. You cannot have regime change merely through air superiority. 'Di ba? Merely through air superiority. Ngayon, regime change by supporting the Kurds, by supporting the insurgents inside Iran. Ang may boots on the ground, mga Israeli special forces lang. Di ba? Yun ang boots on the ground. Papasok ba dyan ang Israel? Papasok ba dyan ang US? I doubt it. Especially ang US. No? Boots on the ground. No? At sa ngayon pa lang talaga nakakabuelo ang Iran. Ang objective ng Iran is to survive. Di ba yun ang objective nila? Wala namang illusion yung Iran na manalo against Israel and against the US. But if they survive for at least a month, iba yun. That will be a game changer.
But is it just survival, Sir Liamas? Because my read is the hardliners are thinking, well, they're not only surviving, they destroyed all the American equipments on all the bases in GCC. US is withdrawing their diplomats from different places. They have closed effectively the Strait of Hormuz for 6, 7 days. Parang ang read nila is they're not only surviving, they're actually hitting back. And as we know, they're also using more and more advanced weapons. 14 countries ang targeted so far. So, and by the way, both Kurds and Azeris have backed out. I just talked to some of my friends who are from the Kurdish region in Iraq. They're saying they don't want to get involved because Iran is already attacking all facilities right and left there to say, don't mess around with us. And Azerbaijan, the tiny tin pot dictator they had there who was flirting with getting into the Azeri regions of Iran, is now sending humanitarian aid. I think he was told by the Turks not to mess around. So my read, Sir Ronald, is that the first few days was survival. But now it's looking like they're trying to leverage this, especially because world economy is really at stake. Grabe, people don't know it's not only oil or liquefied natural gas, which will take months if not years to recover. Apektado rin pala dito fertilizers. Saudi Arabia, I didn't know, and Gulf countries are major exporters of elements that are important for fertilizers. So agriculture will be affected. All sorts of chemicals that are being used for making plastics, whatnot. They come from the Middle East. That's a very energy-rich, resource-rich, and resource-exporting region. So grabbing secondary effect. It's not just the price of oil per barrel, but it's everything is being badly affected here.
Yes, ang tingin ko pa rin doon is partly kwan pa rin yun, survival. Paano ang tira naman nila, ang atake nila, hindi naman maximum ang damage eh. With minimum damage, maximum yung resulta. Halimbawa, ilang missile ba ang pumasok sa Kuwait? Pero practically tigil na ang oil production sa Kuwait. Di ba? Because the threat is more important than the actual attack. Gano'ng karami ba ang inatake nila sa Dubai? Gano'ng karami ba ang inatake nila sa Saudi Arabia? Pero imagine mo yung impact niyan sa finance, yung impact niyan sa tourism, yung impact niyan sa mga basic insurance, yung impact niyan ay maximum. Pero yung tama is minimum. 'Di ba? Hindi naman gano'ng karami yung missiles na nakalusot eh. 'Di ba? Hindi gano'ng karami. Siguro less than 2-3% lang sa missiles sila ang nakalusot dun sa protection ng mga Gulf states, especially Israel. But kahit isa, dalawa, tatlo lang ang makalusot, the impact is maximum. Diba? Parang itong Strait of Hormuz. Practically, yung entire Iranian Navy ay wasak na. And yet, they can still close the Strait of Hormuz kahit wala na yung Iranian Navy.
The real Navy is with the Revolutionary Guards. It's not the conventional Navy using open gates. Yeah.
Maglagay ka lang ng 500 aquatic mines. Aquatic mines sa Strait of Hormuz, tigil na yan. And it will take years bago matanggal yung aquatic mines na yan. How much does an aquatic mine cost? $100 to $200 each. Diba? Ganun lang ang presyo niyan.
Bakit, Sir Ronald, parang alam mo lahat ng mga sabotage, ba't yung mga presyo sa merkado? The drones that Iran is mass producing and using na electric na pa lang yan, it's barely ₱1,000,000 each, but you need $1,000,000 to strike them down. So
Yes.
although on the missiles, the rate of penetration we saw from reports is actually more than 50% because they're not targeting big civilian infrastructure. They're attacking, yes, some hotels that allegedly hostile elements for Iran are there, but they're mostly attacking the bases. Remember, one THAAD missile radar lang titirahin nila, ₱1,000,000,000 ng presyo nun. So it's not just few hitting. The few that they hit could cost billions of dollars, and we know that every day $3-4 billion ang cost ng war na yan on the part of the US. So I don't know, Sir Ron, this war is evolving. It's quite different from last year and previous years, and allegedly the Iranians are claiming they're using now even more advanced missiles, hypersonic missiles. But the thing kasi here is, Remember what Stalin said? Quantity is quality, di ba? They just can send so much drones and missiles over and over and over again, which makes me wonder what are the implications with China, because China is a much bigger country than Iran. They can mass produce even more than Iran, drones, missiles, and all, and we can talk about that. And unfortunately, yung mga DDS and all, gagamitin nila yan for fear mongering. But I'm just saying we have to be realistic also about our strategies and counter strategies here. But before I go there and we go to my ideal candidate, Sir Ronald, just last point on this, ano naman dapat ang stance ng Philippine government? Because my sense is, you see casualties. Isa sa ating kababayan ang namatay sa opening hours of the war. Sa Israel. We have Indians and Bangladeshi overseas workers dying in Gulf countries. Millions ng ating kababayan nandyan. Millions of Indians, Bangladeshis, hundreds of thousands of Thais are in the region. Hindi kaya dapat magsama-sama yung labor exporting countries. Some of us are close allies of the US. Maybe we can push them to have a more reasonable position on this issue. I don't know about Netanyahu government. He has his own world. But at least with the US, hindi kaya we have to talk to them more because our citizens are affected. 2 million OFWs are in the region.
Yes, pero hindi naman tayo papakinggan ng Israel at saka ng US eh. No? Hindi tayo papansinin nun. No? They have an evolving strategy. No? Kaya mismo yung kanilang strategy na nag-evolve ay ang hirap maimpluwensyahan. Dahil nga nag-evolve eh. No? Ikalawa ay ang very basic naman dito ay protektahan yung ating mga OFW. Pero in practical terms, you can only do so much. No? Ang proposal ni Vice President Sara Duterte ay sunduin
Yeah, can we go to that? Sorry, I missed that.
yung ating OFW, katulad ng ginawa niya nung COVID, sinundo yung mga stranded na mga taga Davao sa Manila at
From Manila.
inuwi sa
Yun yung
Davao.
analogy niya. Like bringing 2 million people from a war zone
madali lang naman
is
gagawin
like
nun,
bringing
no?
12 people from Manila to Davao. That's her analogy. Yun yung
Yes, huwag nakalimutan, more than 2 million yung Pilipino sa Middle East. Ikalawa, may gera. Ibig sabihin, maraming mga bansa ron may no-fly zone. Dahil ang daming drones, ang daming missiles, no, ang daming mga fighter jets ang naglalabanan. Di ba? At ikatlo, konsultahin muna niya yung mga OFW kung gusto nilang umuwi. Dahil parang hindi ganun karami yung gusto umuwi. Dahil mas sanay naman sila sa ganyang sitwasyon eh. Di ba? Mas ganyan. Tapos hindi naman ganun karami yung OFW sa Iran. The last time I was there, noong 2016, there was just a few hundred na mga OFW na nandun. No?
But
Kaya,
what about the one in
yung sitwasyon
Kuwait,
ngayon,
in Bahrain?
nakita.
Because those states are being hit hard eh. Yung Bahrain and Kuwait. Medyo mas matindi yun. Oh.
Oh, yes. Pero in a way, hindi yun yung talagang gera na nai-imagine natin. These are targeted attacks.
These are US bases being targeted. Yeah, just to be clear. Yeah.
Hindi siya talaga gera, no? Yung as we know it, no? As we know it.
So what about the
At
economics
ang mga
part, Sir Ron?
DDS, patuloy yung kanilang propaganda na because dahil malapit daw tayo sa US, ay bobombahin tayo ng Iran. No, hanggang ngayon yun ang ginagamit nilang narrative, no? Alam mo, yung kung kailangan nilang pag-aralan yung missile system ng Iran. Yung pinaka long range missile ng Iran, ang tawag diyan Sejil missile. Ang maximum range na ay 2,500 kilometers.
So hanggang
Yung ikalawa,
India lang siguro at most, yeah.
yung ikalawa nilang long range missile, Khorramshahr missile. Khorramshahr missile. Ang range niya is 2,000 kilometers. Yung ikatlo nilang pinakamalaking missile, no, ang tawag diyan ay Gadar 100. Yan ay 1,800 kilometers. Ang Pilipinas ay 7,300 to 7,400 kilometers away from Iran. Kaya kung sakali na foolish enough yung Iran na magpadala ng missile sa Pilipinas, babagsak sa China. Sasabog
Mas
siya sa China.
matamaan nila yung aliado. Actually, they can more target Russia and China than us.
Kaya medyo lecturean mo ng kaunting geography itong mga kaibigan mo ng mga DDS.
Siyempre,
no?
kasi nga, Sir Ronald,
it sounds so funny, no?
Wala pa naman kasi tayong Gucci at Rolex, kaya wala tayong karapatan mag-analyze. Pero kinabahan ako sa Ron once he went down each missile. Sabi ko, don't tell me you're gonna analyze the solid fuel. I mean, let's not, Sir Ron, please, let's not go there. Baka yung mga
Hindi,
MIT
hindi
friends.
paborito ko pag-aralan yung mga missile systems eh. Kaya nung
Alam ko
sinasabi ng
suicide
eh,
ano ka Sir Ronald, pero please, kasi yung mga MIT followers natin ay baka magduda na bigla sa'yo. Parang until now, believe na sila biglang, wait lang, ano sinasabi niya? Like baka mag-solid fuel versus liquid fuel analysis ka or something. So, I want to stop you there, Sir Ronald, because your stock's value is very high. I don't want to damage your brand. Kinabahan ako when you went one by one through the missile, like, don't tell me mag-aerodynamic analysis.
si Jill, Koramsar, at saka Gadar
Oh,
100.
Sejil, meron ka bang Sejil, oh? At
Yan yung
Khyber Shekan,
pinaka-range
Khyber
nila
Shekan. Yeah, meron pa silang Khyber Shekan. They claim it's Mach
Oo.
10, Mach 15. In terms of economics, Sir Ronald, even if this is not a full-out war because targeted yung mga attacks, but do you think the Gulf region will be the same after this? Parang medyo nakakatakot yung, I mean, again, we don't have to look at all-out war, but like the uncertainty, like will it be even the same region anymore after this? Unless
No,
they got to deal with Iran and go to reconstruction mode, which
game
is not
changer yan eh.
impossible. Yun nga eh.
Ang pinakatatamaan dyan is the Iranian economy. Nung sinara nila yung State of Hormuz, sila yung pinakatatamaan dyan economically. But they don't care. Existential yung kanilang battle. Huwag niyo kalimutan ha. They're fighting for their existence.
This is the
At kung
regime, by the way. The
existential,
people are
kung
not, yeah.
kung zero-sum game ka, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose dahil existential na yan eh. Kung dudurugin ka na eh, hindi ka na makakabalik. No? Hindi yan regime change. It's the total change ng Iranian society. No? Babaguhin mo talaga yan. No? At imagine mo, sisingilin yan. Yung mga Revolutionary Guards. Pero hindi yan mga pushover. Gano'ng karami ang Revolutionary Guards? More than 200,000.
Yeah, 250,000.
Gano'ng karami?
Yes.
Diba? Gano'ng karami yung
Kasi
militia ng Revolutionary Guards?
500,000. Yeah,
Diba?
500,000.
Gano'ng karami yung regular army nila?
600,000. Yeah, so
Diba?
1.5 million. Yeah, basically.
Hindi yan ganun kadali na durugin. No? Lalo na kung karamihan dyan ay mga fundamentalists, no? Na willing to die.
Ideological, yeah.
Oo. Dahil theocratic state yan eh. Yung kanilang gobyerno, yung kanilang state, ay also yung kanilang religion. Baka hindi natin nauunawaan yung ibig sabihin nun. No? Hindi ako suporta ng Iran ha. Dapat talaga mabago yan. No? Pero not that way. Not that way. Hindi
No,
mababago
that's what I'm
yan.
saying. The people who are most suffering are ordinary civilians. It's the economy,
Yes.
world economy. So, kamusta ang sitwasyon dyan sa Pilipinas? Because things here in Europe is horrible now. Gas prices are going crazy.
Kakabanat ko lang sa gobyerno kahapon tsaka kanina.
Yeah, what's going on with the economy sa Pilipinas? It
Hindi
doesn't
nila
look good.
Hindi nila na-control yung pag-increase ng oil. Yung Petron nag-increase ng konti. Tapos all the others nag-increase ng more than 20 pesos. No, overnight. Meron naman silang buffer stock na binili nila sa rumang presyo. Ngayon, yung gobyerno pa nagja-justify, ay may transfer cost kasi yan, kaya tumaas. Kahit anong transfer cost yung sinasabi mo, may buffer stock sila. That's one of the purposes of the buffer stock. Para magkaroon ng ganyang fluctuation, hindi ganun kaagad yung epekto. Bakit ang bilis ng epekto at hindi lang mabilis? No? Ang layo sa in-increase ng Petron, halimbawa. Diba? So ano nangyayari? Sabi, ipa-fine down nila. Dapat matatakot pa sa fine yan? Magkano ang fine yan? No? 100,000? Yun ang fine mo dyan? No? Dapat talagang mas matindi ang sanction. Or else, talagang aalagwa yung mga yan. Iba-violate talaga nila. Even their own rules. No? Yun yung pag tumaas yung presyo, tumaas na more than 20 pesos ang gasolina, anong tama niyan sa transportation? Anong tama niyan sa pagkain? Anong tama niyan sa electricity? 'Di ba? Grabe ang tama niyan eh.
Alam mo,
So,
pag-usapan
dapat
natin to, sir.
to control
Pero
the situation.
pag-usapan natin to kasi matagal na namin issue yan dati pa when, small time lang ako hanggang ngayon naman. Pero nung big time ka, secretary ka sa kabinete, kami mga small time sa kongreso, mga tabi-tabi. We were looking at EPIRA, we were looking at oil deregulation. parang na-privatize lahat sa ating industriya. Halos wala ng control yung gobyerno eh. Parang basically the private sector can set whatever price they want. We were even asking, ano yung basis nila for calculating oil? As if, it's not like they're bringing the oil now from the Hormuz. They bought this stuff long time ago. And then may konting gulo lang around the world. May isang Houthi missile, ang taas, tataasan nila tapos konti ibababa nila, kunyari nag-rollback pa. I'm sorry, Sir Ronald, this looks like Mickey Mouse.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Kahit deregulated yung ating oil industry, meron pa rin diyang rules. Halimbawa, bago magtaas yung mga oil companies, magsasabi pa rin sila sa gobyerno. Di ba? Kaya sasabihan sila ng gobyerno. Ibig sabihin, hindi yan ganun na total freedom. Totally regulated. Di ba? May rules pa rin yan eh. Di ba? May rules pa rin yan. Kaya yung minimum rules na yon dapat sundin nila. Ano, that's the nature of having a buffer stock. Di ba? Kaya nga meron din tayong yung DTI.
Pero wala
meron
tayong
din
strategic oil
may
reserve,
price
no?
control eh.
Do we
Ang
have
ating
strategic oil
Department of
reserve?
Trade.
No, but Sir
Ating
Ron, do we have strategic oil reserves? Because all serious countries have strategic oil reserves. I'm not sure strategic oil reserves
Hindi
kasi
ko alam
decision ng
hindi ko
gobyerno
alam
yan
yung
eh.
gobyerno. Hindi ko alam yung gobyerno, no?
Yun
Hindi
nga
ko alam
eh.
yung policy. Pero yung mga oil companies, meron sila. No, merong requirement na 60, 90 days na buffer. Requirement 'yon ha. Requirement 'yon. No? Kaya kailangan ba yes, I agree with you. Kailangan balikan yung deregulation na 'yan, lalo na ngayon. 'Di ba?
And of course, Sir
Kailangan
Ronald, you're assuming walang regulatory capture. I'm not saying there is a but how efficient are our regulation
oh,
of these sectors?
merong regulatory capture? Ha? Huh?
Are
Surprising.
you
No?
Sir Ronald, sorry
Napaka-surprising.
pinaanak lang ako kahapon. No, Sir Ronald, seriously, like, do we even know? Are we properly checking how is the oil prices and all are calculated in the Philippines? Are the books even open to our regulators? How powerful are regulatory mechanisms?
Oo. Well, may mga, sabi ko nga minimums dahil deregulated nga eh. Pero may mga minimums like a buffer stock. Ba't ka bang magbibigay ng buffer stock? Requirement yan. Yung permission, magpapaalam ka sa gobyerno pag mag increase ka. Diba? Tapos sa price control. May DTI, may price control ang DTI eh. Diba? Kahit papano ay may ganong epekto yan. Diba? Ang kinukuha ko yan. Tapos kahit naman wala yan, pwede naman tapikin yan eh ng gobyerno. Bata, wag mo kami subukan. We can create problems for you. Pwede namin kayo bigyan ng problema. Wag naman masyado kayong unhinged, no? Diyan sa ginagawa nyo. Kahit deregulated yung ating oil, kami pa rin ang gobyerno. At yung gobyerno, maraming pwedeng gawin para kayo ay parusahan, para bigyan kayo ng difficulties. Ngayon, gagawin ba ng gobyerno yan? Halimbawa, kung ako gobyerno, ang dami ko pwedeng gawin. No? Even in a deregulated regime. No? You're the government eh. Diba?
Yun nga eh, and this is the serious concern we have na parang wala tayong strategic oil reserves, which all countries have as we speak. Japan is looking into their strategic oil reserves. The market is completely deregulated, but that doesn't mean deregulation means there's no regulation. But I have still questions how powerful are regulatory mechanisms. And also, syempre, nagre-recover pa lang tayo sa economic contraction or, well, slowdown, let's just say, significantly slowdown last year. Dahil sa, syempre, daming corruption nangyari kaya tinigil lahat ng mga proyekto right and left. Coming from that, this looks like a horrible way to start the year for economic recovery, Sir Ronald. Like, what the hell are we gonna do now?
Nagsimula na nga yung taon na yung economic targets ng gobyerno ay way below eh. Diba? We're now 4%. Ang target ng gobyerno, 5 to 6. Tapos 4% yung iyong kwan. Bababa pa yan. Sabi ng mga economists, bababa pa ng 4%. Bago pa itong Iran War. So, saan napupulutin yung ating economy? Kaya, ang mahalaga dyan is leadership. No? Ang mahalaga dyan, leadership. Halimbawa, last year, no, nandun ako sa meeting ng Labor and Employers Confederation para i-request sa gobyerno na isuspend ang excise tax for at least 1 year. Para yung, hindi kasi tumataas ang sahod ng mga tao ng mga workers. At yung production costs ng mga enterprises natin naapektuhan, nag-aalisa ng mga investors. Hindi usapin ng may pumapasok ba? Walang pumapasok, umaalis pa. So sabi ng Kwan ng mga employers at saka labor, no? Win-win sila pareho, isuspend muna ang excise tax. Hindi yan pinayagan ng gobyerno. Ngayon, gobyerno na mismo ang nagpo-propose na isuspend yung excise tax. 'Di ba? Baka too little, too late. Yung problema na yan, no? Sila pa ngayon na nagpo-propose. Kaya nga kanina, guest ko si Barcelon eh. Yung head ng Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industries.
Saan?
No?
Sa
Pinaalala ko sa
Controlas?
kanya. Sa Soricon.
Sorry.
Pinaalala ko sa kanya. Di ba,
Masyado ka
chairman?
kasing celebrity, sir. I cannot keep up with all your programs. You're all
Kaya
over.
di ba, chairman, pinag-usapan natin yan last year. I was there in the meeting between labor and capital. Nag-agree tayo lahat. Very rare. Very rare na nag-agree ang trade unions at saka Employers Confederation. Ano yung pinag-agreehan nila? Excise tax. Tapos ngayon, yan ang gobyerno na nagpo-propose. No? Ang tanong ko, baka too little too late. Baka kinakailangan mong dagdagan pa yan. 'Di ba? Dagdagan pa yan. At ngayon, yung proposal mismo ng gobyerno, ang bagal. Ang bagal. 'Di ba? You're in the middle of a crisis. Although a crisis is also an opportunity. No? It's an opportunity para pigilan ng corruption, para may extra revenues ka na ma-offset nung pag-suspend ng excise tax. Meron kang opportunity ngayon para mag-ayos ng iyong management, governance, para yung tax collection mo is much better, 'di ba, than a corrupt system of tax collection. 'Di ba? So, it's an opportunity para mag-ayos yung gobyerno, no? Para ma-offset yung mawawalang revenues. Kung ganun ang pagtingin nila, no? Kung ganun ang pagtingin nila. So, you're the government, ang dami mo pwedeng gawin. Ang dami mo pwedeng gawin eh. Yun ang sinasabi ko. Wag lang isisi lahat, uy, kasalanan kasi ito ng Iran war. Uy, kasalanan kasi ito ng external factors. Yes, pero marami ka pa rin pwedeng gawin internally. Diba?
I mean,
Yun lang naman.
during COVID-19, we responded to global. That was a massive exogenous shock. Pero actually, we did
Yes.
expansionary monetary policies. Si joke no pa yung governor back in the day. So actually, the government has many ways to do counter-cyclical policy intervention. Well, that's the technical term.
Correct.
And yun nga, like I just don't like this idea na helpless tayo and everything like that. And you're absolutely right, 'di ba? Sabi nga ni Ram Emanuel, 'di ba? Never parang waste parang a crisis as an opportunity,
Let,
'di ba? Never
never
let
let the
a
crisis
crisis
go
go
to
to
waste.
waste, 'di ba? So yeah, this is exactly I think this is the time that we should realize that malakas ang estado, 'di ba? Malakas ang estado, may kakayahan na estado na mag-regulate, protektahan yung welfare ng bansa, protektahan tayo from external. So if we cannot change America's foreign policy, and definitely Netanyahu's foreign policy, at the very least we have to be able to respond accordingly to the shocks to our economy, to threat to our people, di ba, Sir Ronald?
Yes, yes. Inuulit ko, kahit deregulated yung oil industry, the government is still the government. No? Pwede mong sabihan, mag-ayos kayo, share the burden. Bakit consumers lang ang mag-share ng burden? Bakit kayo, wala kayong kwan? Wala kayong i-share, tapos yung iba sa inyo, pakikinabangan pa itong crisis? Hindi pwede yan. Pero you have to drive the fear dito sa mga kwan nito. Profiteering na ito. Itong mga kwan na ito. Siyempre, yung mga yan, gusto nila, kumita sila sa crisis at the expense of the consumers. Parang COVID. May nakinabang sa COVID eh. Mas yumaman
PPE.
pa yung ating mga billionaires during COVID.
Di ba yung mga Lamborghini ang dumami sa BGC nung panahon ng
Yes.
Farmal? Wala akong sinasabi. Oh, yeah.
Oh, diba? Pero mo binili natin ng 600 binili natin ng 3,000 pesos yung yung COVID vaccines
Yung
natin, yung
Chinese,
Sinovac.
Sinovac?
Tapos
Oh, yeah,
binili
yeah,
ng
yeah.
Indonesia 600 pesos. Binili
I
natin
wonder where did the extra go? Yung like the
diba?
80% go.
Oo. Oo. Kaya yung crisis can be an opportunity, no? Hindi lamang sa mga profiteers, para sa mga gustong mag-ayos, yung gustong i-improve ang government service, no?
But sir, it's also an opportunity na why should we have millions of our people in conflict zones to begin with? It's not like this is the first Gulf War. This is probably the worst Persian Gulf War.
Hindi, iba pang usapin yun.
Yun nga,
No?
pero why should we rely on labor export as a way to pump prime our economy when in fact we can do other things to create growth? Kaya nga sinasabi namin, manufacturing, industrial policy, we have to create and create growth inside the Philippines. Yun din ang inisip ko, like parang naka-autopilot tayo, umaasa na lang tayo sa external.
Yung pinakamahalaga, human development eh. Tingnan mo ang Taiwan at saka Singapore. Wala naman masyadong natural resources yan. Anong dinevelop nila? Human resources. No? Yun ang ginawa nila. Tayo naman may capacity tayo to do that eh. Ang problema, natural resources, human resources, hindi natin nagamit. Diba?
Nagamit, pero nagamit ng ibang bansa. Napunta sa Europe,
Correct.
sa Middle East. How do you think this, no offense, but like what was Dubai 60 years ago? Like what was Qatar 40, 50 years ago? Tayo, mga Pilipino, mga Indians, mga Bangladesh, we're the one running the show there, the Lebanese, among other things. So, sayang to see our human capital actually contribute in national development elsewhere aside from our own country. So, we have to have a way na mag-generate tayo ng employment growth dito. And this is something I've been talking about for more than 10 years, di ba? And now it's yet another reminder, why should we have millions of our people in conflict zones? Of course, if you choose to stay there, that's another thing. But my point is to begin with, they should rather be here with their own family, their loved ones, their culture, their country.
Parang ang proposal mo, magkaroon tayo ng welfare state with a strong activist leader.
Which is a perfect segue to my... You saw what I did there, Sir Ronald. You saw what I did there. So, which brings us to the ultimate part of our conversation today, Sir Ronald, habang umiinit tayo. Para first time na hindi tayo nagbanter ng 40 minutes, tas 5 minutes lang yung analysis. Like, my God. It took a very horrific conflict for us to really focus our minds here properly. But, Sir Ronald, let's go to the last part of discussion. But this is a very important part. I know, once again, dami naman nag-bash sa akin because they don't read between the lines.
Oh, may endorse ka eh. No, I saw your...
Ideally! Sabi ko, ideally...
Wow! Endorser pala.
Oy, Sir, alam mo naman, Sir, tayo bilang mga very professional journalists na ang daming programs, I lost track of ilan mga programs. Para saan ka galing? 4 alas? Hindi. Galing ako sa... Ay, tapos ka na dyan. Ay, hindi, may taping pa ako dyan. Like, ko. As, ano ba sabi namin nila, Gucci sa atin? Propagandist, di ba? As mga propagandist, Sir Ronald. No, honestly, Sir Ronald, nasaan na tayo? April na. Where are we in terms of the conversations on standard bearer, among other things? Oh, by the way, you lost our conversation, yung isa pang Quadcom namin. I made the case also for Riza Ontiveros because if you look at Riza, she did very well dun sa mga areas na if you look at the electoral map right now, ay maraming mga undecided. So if you look at the electoral map of Riza in the 4 elections she ran, di ba? From 2013 onwards, ang Sarah, stop it. Come on! Stop it! Stop it, Ronald. Stop it.
Parang ka nagpapaliwanag sa presinto.
Hindi presinto to. I was explaining.
Pipigilan ko.
Alam ko ikaw ang unang mag-respond dyan sa aking ideal candidates. No, I'm just saying there's an argument to make for each of these candidates, for Kiko, for Riza. Riza also has a strong case. Yan ang problema sa Ronald. Ay nako, mamaya ipakita ko yung map, di ba? Yung parang if you look at it, she does very well in the undecided areas. I mean, automatically, if Lenny doesn't run or Bam doesn't run, Riza will pick up the majority or if not the entirety of the Lenny base. Plus,
kung hindi tumakbo si Lenny at si Bam, talaga wala matitira. Si Riza na lang.
No, I'm just saying. Come on, Sir Ronald. Alam mo,
grabe naman yung predicate mo.
ang sinasabi ko lang, there is an argument for each of them. There's an argument for Torre. There's an argument for Riza. And there's an argument for Bam. Why not? I mean, Bam also. Number 2.
Sa akin ba walang argument? Tingin mo, hindi ko gusto tumakong presidente.
No, Sir Ronald, I don't have an argument.
There's an argument for everyone.
Kasi Stalinist state ang mangyari, hindi activist. Sir Ronald, I am for an activist state, not Stalinist state. There's a big difference.
Not only an activist, a strong activist state.
Yung mga... Someone told me Ronald Llamas is like Digong of the left, and I wonder if that person was not joking. sometimes. Parang sabi na, alam mo tong Ronald, pag ito maging presidente, parang digong lang yan eh. Pero digong natin. Parang sabi ko, joke ba to or warning ba ito sa akin? At minsan sa Ronald, medyo you're making me worry.
That was almost a compliment.
No, it's not. It's not. It reflects badly on us who are your friends. Like, no, I don't like another digong. Like, left or right. Diba, Sir Ronald? Yan ang problema eh, Sir Ronald. Sige na nga, okay. Sige na nga, Sir. Oh, Sir Ronald, like,
So, actually, may nakita akong survey. Hindi ko
okay,
na
sige.
sasabihin ito, no? Isang internal
Sige, sige, sige,
survey
sige. Go, go.
na ah 39% si Kwan, si
Tara.
si Sarah, yung susunod sa kanya ay 30%, no? Tapos si
30%. Hindi
Rafi
tulfo
Tulfo
to.
is
Hindi tulfo.
Rafi Tulfo is 16% and all the others ay mga 10%.
Sino
All
to?
the others.
Lenny?
Huwag na, hindi ko na sasabihin.
Wow, Sir Ronald.
Kasi
Nagka-thirst trap ka na.
all the others consolidate. Paano all the others naman, di naman pupunta kay Sarah. Very doable.
So
Ano
if,
na,
so
latest
if
last
Tulfo
week na.
endorses that 30%,
Last week lang
kaya
yan.
talunin si Sarah.
Yeah, kaya nga. Last week lang yan. Yung survey na yan. Ipakita ko na lang pagpunta mo rito.
Hindi, i-send mo sa akin. Pero okay, ito na lang tanong ko, Sir
Copy.
Ronald. Para ito yung yung tinatanong niyo sa akin, nakita ko ba yung warrant of arrest ni Bato, tapos tumatawa ka lang sa gilid, sabi mo, ito ba yung Sir Ronald? So, no, seriously, Sir Ronald. So, wow. I mean, it looks like Rafi won't run for president. So, if Rafi endorses this person,
Rafi won't. Baka
Yeah,
yung brother.
but I don't think Erwin will go for president. Maybe Erwin for vice presidency. I mean, a Lenny Erwin
Probably
situation.
open for vice. No?
Yeah. A Lenny Erwin is very, very like probable for me. Like more than 50% chance we'll have a Lenny Erwin.
Ayaw mo na nung Bam, Erwin?
Hindi,
Ayaw mo na
ang point ko, if Lenny doesn't run, I think Bam and Risa automatically are next in line. But let's be honest, I think Lenny has the momentum now. I think Lenny won there. But Sir Ronald, the question is, ideal ba itong 30% na tao na to? Yun ang tanong ko. Ideal ba siya or hindi?
Well, baka siya yung pinaka-ideal.
Oy! Bakit? Bakit pinaka-ideal?
Dahil winnable siya. At she will be the opposite of Sarah.
Oh, it's a she. Hindi naman parang Riza Ontiveros ito. Sige, send mo nga sa akin, Sir Ronald.
Ayoko na ang detalye. Ayoko na magpaliwanag sa presinto katulad ng host.
Hindi nga paliwanag sa presinto,
ganun ba?
analytics. Pero please, Sir Ronald.
Makikita ba yung ngiti ko habang nagpapaliwanag ka sa presinto?
Hindi nga ako tumitingin sa'yo.
I can't help it.
You should have seen my face when you were explaining missiles and their physics. Parang, please, Sir Ronald, don't. Malapit na kita maging, and I'm almost gonna get you invited to MIT to do a lecture. Don't ruin it.
I enjoy explaining these things.
I'm getting into MIT, Sir Ronald. Please don't ruin it. Ang style dito, fake it until you make it. Kaya wag tayo magpa-obvious, Sir Ronald. No, but honestly, so Sir Ronald, you look very happy. Mukhang ideal tong candidate na to can beat Sarah. Wow, this is big news.
Oo, kasi kahit sino, basta matalo si Sarah.
What? Ako hindi kahit sino. Pag si Ronald Llamas, hindi. Nakakatakot. Mas nakakatakot si Ronald Llamas. Stalinist state ang mangyayari sa atin.
Targeted naman kahit Stalinist.
Ayan. I've heard that before. We've heard that before. Yeah, it's Stalinist, but you'll still have your nice cappuccino in the evening, your Ferragamo in the morning. No, but okay, seriously, Sarah.
It will basically be a rule of law. Basically, ideally.
Is this the Chinese version of rule of law ng Shang Dynasty, yung mga ganun style, sir?
Parang ko dyan social democracy with Filipino characters.
Sir, anong tawag mo ulit? Yung bare knuckle. Anong gawa niyo sa frat? Parang social democracy with bare knuckle characteristics. Anong tawag niyo dyan? Yung upakan sa fraternity, Sir Ronald?
Bare knuckle fighting.
parang
alam mo lang kasi shadow fighting.
Oo nga eh, sir. Yung war cabinet mo si Mogato pa rin bang defense minister? Genghis Khan natin. I-invade ba natin ang China?
Siya ang aking simbolo. Siya ang aking simbolo. Genghis Khan.
Like,
Ang
oo nga
the
naman, yung
Genghis Khan
Mogato.
China.
Giving a speech in armor and all,
Yan, yan.
like armor and all.
Mountain of Skulls. No?
Yeah. Game
Huh?
of Thrones on.
Mugato will make Tamerlane and Genghis Khan look like Boy Scouts.
He's gonna be the hardcore version. Hardcore version. Sir Ronald, I'm getting worried where this conversation is going from missiles to hardcore to like papunta na sa. Pero
Pero the government has to do something. They cannot just explain away our problems as basically because of external factors. Dapat lagi tayong prepared sa external factors. Di ba? Dapat meron ka ng mga contingency bago pa siya mangyari. And at the same time, katulad na pinag-uusapan natin kanina, use a crisis positively. Diba? Huwag kang magwallow do sa crisis. Use it, transform it into something positive. Diba? Yun ang sinasabi natin.
and
You're the government and the government should be strong.
yun nga, yung mga parang narinig ko kay Digong din yan, strong government. Kinakabahan.
Hindi ko kasi simplistic eh. Diba? Meron kang problema sa drugs. So, patayin mo lahat ng addict. Dahil yung kanilang mga utak ay sunog na raw. Kung si Hitler nagpapatay ng 3 million Jews, mali pa yung number niya, hindi naman 3 million. Kaya ko rin magpapatay ng 3 million addicts. Di ba ganun ka-simplistic eh?
the horrible mindset like that.
Oo,
Yeah.
i-invade tayo ng China, no? Wala tayong magagawa laban sa China, so kaibiganin natin.
Was Duterte fascist to you? I mean, let's put it that. Fascist light pa siya, fascist pa siya. How did you see?
He's more a sociopath.
I'm not sure that's mutually exclusive. If anything, I think sociopaths are perfect fascists.
Hindi, fascism kasi is an ideology eh.
Organized siya, meron siyang ano. Ito wala.
State, di ba? A national security state. A state which is always at war. Yun yung fascism. Tingin ko ay hindi ganun ka-intellectually motivated si Digong para maunawaan kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng fascism as an ideology. More siya sa isang a serial killer, a psychopath, and a populist. A mixture of the three.
More a demagogue. Basta demagogue lang siya. Yung what the Greeks were warning. Yung medyo
demagogic yung kanyang tone. Pero yung kanyang political construct is a combination of populism, no? Authoritarianism, no? At saka yung character niya is a psychopath. So yung tatlong combination, ang tingin ko yung Dutertismo. No? Not ideological like fascism.
But you know what I found interesting, Sir Ronald, is that usually the leftist argument against fascism is wala daw ideology ng fascism aside from cult of action and violence. What you're saying is that Digong is even less ideological than super thin ideology of fascist. Like ganyan siya kasabog. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, hindi naman siya ganun kasabog. Pero hindi siya ideolog. Hindi siya ideolog. No, hindi siya. At wala sa kanyang grupo ang ideologically inclined. Diba? Kaya wala siyang mga wala siyang mga Goebbels, di ba? Wala siyang mga Goering, wala siyang mga ganon eh. Wala siya ng ganyan. Ang
Meron siyang Harry Roque. Meron siyang Harry
Oo.
Roque.
Oo, kasi laki ni Goring, si Harry Roque. Pero yung utak, hindi katulad ni Goring.
Ano naman, sir? Nag-body shame ka na naman.
Si Goring, TNL yun.
Tsaka,
TNL yun.
hindi na ako magsalita, baka may madulas na naman. But Sir Ron, wait, I haven't seen much from Harry Roque since last time na ninam-nam-nam niya yung snow. In Vienna ba siya? Hindi ko siya naabutan sa Hague the other week.
Nasa
Nasaan pa talaga siya?
Sa Vienna siya. Oo, nanganganib siya sa Netherlands eh. Dahil ang kaso niya, human trafficking eh. Very sensitive ang kwan dyan, ang Netherlands. No?
Europeans.
Pero wala na kasing sumeseryoso sa kanya eh. Wala na sumeseryoso sa kanya. Wala na nag-guest sa kanya. Nag-guest na lang sa kanya, Storycon eh.
Oo nga, ba't kayo pumabatol sa kanya? Alam mo, hinintay ko pa rin kailan yung maging guest si Bato. Like, saan na si Bato? Wala na siyang position. Wala. Kulang sana sinasahod pa rin siya, no? Sarap buhay.
Oh, pero nag-file na lang kayo sa kanya si Shelo para tanggalan ng sahod tsaka benefits.
Grabe. Sa ano maging ano siya, maging karton senador, yung walang position, walang sahod. Ano,
Oh,
honorary senador, ganun ba yung tawag diyan kung wala ka ng
oh,
lahat?
katabi niya yung Cartoon Network ni Digong. Tapos pinipray over din siya, no?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure ganun ka-level ng love kay Bato. I think Digong is still
Bumalik ka na rito. Bumalik ka na
eh,
rito
may
eh.
gera na nga, ang mahal-mahal ng ticket, kaya
Alam
nga
mo,
nag-fundraising na ako
nung
eh.
walang gera, hindi ka makabalik. Ngayon may gera, hindi ka rin makabalik.
Hindi,
So,
babalik ako, maghanap ako
mo.
ng ano. Ano
Ayusin mo
kayong
yung mga
rota ko?
dokumento mo. Para kasi
Singapore na
Marcoleta
lang.
eh. Para kasi
Hmm?
Marcoleta, sisinungaling lang, hindi pa maayos. Hmm.
Nakalimutan ko nga si Marcoleta. Biglang
Oh,
binalik mo pa siya.
napanood mo yung kanina? Yung kanilang
Hindi.
exchanges? Si
Hindi. Ano
Ping
na naman ginawa
Lacson.
ni Marcoleta?
Kanina, yung buong Senate session. Debate lang nila ni Ping Lacson. No? Mhm.
Qué horror, qué horror. Sir Ronald, thank you so much, Sir Ronald, for sharing your wisdom from quantum mechanics to projectile physics, all the way to oil market, the regulation. And of course, we ended on the most important point. And then biglang, ay, hindi ko sasabihin sino. Nagda-thirst trap ka lang. Tapos, pero it's a she. Hindi siya ideal, pero ideal siya dahil mananalo siya. Para sabi ko, ano ba talaga? Mahirap ka talagang kausap, Sir Ronald. Wala bang
Ah,
clue, Sir Ronald? Ano tong,
doon
anong,
ako nagpaliwanag sa presinto.
Sir Ronald, anong letter meron dito itong tao na to na kayang i-defeat si Sarah? Wala ka man lang ano naman, konting thirst trap naman, Sir Ronald.
Sabi ko lang nga, she's the opposite of Sarah. Diba? So,
Medyo mababang, it's a very low bar. Like, ang daming pwede maging, like, no offense. Pero yung explanation niya na pwede mo tulungan yung mga tao na 2 milyon sa kabila
oo.
ng mundo, the way na pwede mo dalhin tao sa Manila, medyo madali maging opposite of that, Sir Ron. That's a very, that bar is easy to, surpass by orders of magnitude, Sir Ronald. Thank you, Sir Ronald, for sharing your time and wisdom as always. I think the MIT plan might still push through because I stopped you from saying something na biglang magduda sila. But does he really know aerodynamics and quantum mechanics? Like, kasi hanggang ngayon, believe na believe sa... Alam mo, yung ma-impress sa'yo Harvard, okay lang sa akin, Oxford. Pero yung MIT, ma-impress sa'yo, Sir Ronald. That's quite a high bar. Pag MIT ang ma-impress sa'yo, sir, kinakabahan na ako na... Kaya palang dami nabubudol sa mundo, no? Ayoko sabihin Epstein, pero basta Sir Ronald. I'm very glad, Sir Ronald, na hindi ka naging right-wing, hindi ka naging opportunista because you're a very talented man. You're Mr. Talent. Ano yung talented Mr. Ripley? Yung like ikaw.
Napanood mo Napanood mo
Favorite ko
May
yan!
version na yun May tatlong version
Ay,
yun.
tatlong version. The Alain Delon,
Oo.
which ruined his
Oo.
career. After that, he played Ripley so well, no one hired him as a matinee idol, kahit napaka-good looking niya. And then the Jude Law and of course, sino yung nag-play sa kanya, si Matt Damon. And then the,
Yeah, yeah.
the third one, Netflix one, is
Meron
the
pang
best.
latest. Meron pang latest.
The Netflix is the best because it actually, Tom Ripley tries to replicate the life of Caravaggio in Italy.
Yeah.
Basically, yung
Yeah.
bloody, talented, like it's amazing. It's amazing. So, Sir Ronald, to be honest, a part of me sometimes thinks you're like our Mr. Talented Ripley.
Parang hindi magandang comparison yun.
Eh, para siyang yung compliment.
Parang tinatawag mo ako masamang tao. Parang
Oh,
lang ha.
wait. Before our MIT friends give up on you, you just said kanina, you take as a compliment to be compared to the Digong of the left. And then now you're saying, hindi compliment, I say talented Mr. Replica. Wait lang. I'm having a hard time, Sir Ronald.
Dahil may pagka-sociopath. Hindi psychopath.
Yung isa psychopath, yung isa sociopath. Parang ganun. Aba, psychoanalyst ka na rin, Sir Ronald. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. On that
Oh,
note, Sir Ronald.
na mali yung ginagawa niya, pero ginagawa pa rin niya. Yung psychopath, wala siyang concept of right or wrong. No? No.
Kinakabahan talaga ako sa Sir Ronald.
Mga serial killers, psychopath.
So, yung mass murder versus serial killer, yun yung distinction mo. But anyway, baka madulas tayo, we might say something. Thank you so much, Sir Ronald. I really appreciate it. No, honestly, we're looking forward to catching up in person and all. By the way, dun sa Manila House, the next one we're gonna have later this month is my former professor, Winnie Munsud, Heidi Mendoza. We're
Nakita ko
gonna
na eh.
nakita mo na, di ba? So,
Nakita ko na yung program eh. Pero sabi
wala
ko,
nang toxic masculinity.
babalik pa rito yun by that time? Parang walang balak bumalik.
Hindi, nagre-raise pa ako ng pera. Magsi-Singapore na lang siguro ako para safe. Kasi Sir Ronald, parang kalating milyon na ata yung economy ngayon. Grabe talagang
By
kalokohan.
that time, nagka-quadruple na yung presyo ng
Yeah.
plane fare.
But
Pero kaya-kaya mo naman eh. Dahil yung mga suot mo, mga Ferragamo, mga
no,
Louis Vuitton, no?
no.
Gucci, no? Kaya kaya mo yun.
What are you implying, Sir Ronald? What are you implying? No. But
Wala naman ako sinasabi na nepo baby ka. No?
Sir Ronald, lahat ng ating anyway, birthday month ko pa rin. Baka naman gusto maghabol yung iba ng pang-ticket natin pa uwi. Thank you very much, Sir Ronald.
Dala ko sa GCash mo.
Oo, papadala ko ng... Pag nilagay ko yung Gcash ko dito, doon mo malaman talaga medyo kailangan na umuwi ito. On that note, thank you very much, Sir Ronald. And
Thank you. Good night.
let's go. Uy, send mo sa akin yung survey, off the record. Parang masyado kang natuwa. Ayoko, parang medyo suspicious.
Happy you, sir. In fairness.
Pasend sa akin. Ideally.